Welcome to day 18 of Video a Day February. My name is Deborrah Cooper. I am the advice columnist on survivingdating.com. I've been in the advice business since the early 1990s. I started here in Oakland, California, expanded to AOL, the Net Noir, and then to my own site since 1997. So I've been around for a long time. What I wanted to do today is respond to a question which came in, which concerns religion. As some of you know, I'm the author of a book on the Black Church, which you can find out at www.womenpray, P-R-A-Y, menpray, P-R-E-Y.com. So I feel pretty strongly about this particular letter and the mother who wrote it. And let me go into this. I put it on slides, so as usual you can follow along in the written form. So she says she has a 16-year-old daughter that she's very close to. So a year and a half ago, she went out with this Christian boy for 6 months. The two were inseparable and they got along wonderfully. He had been homeschooled and was about to go to high school. The girls were all over him when he went to school, and he broke it off with my daughter. He called one night and just said that he thought it would be best if they both saw other people. He wanted her to see what else was out there, and he wanted to do the same. In school, he would never acknowledge my daughter and even dated my daughter's best friend. He really hurt my baby deeply, and he was her first boyfriend to boot. In the meantime, my daughter really never got close to any other boy. She would just remain friends. That is, until recently, my son's best friend, who is 18 and a half and graduated from high school this year, has taken an interest in my daughter. He is not a Christian. He will be attending the nearby local college. He and my daughter get along wonderfully, and she thought they were just friends. But online one night, he opened up his heart to her and told her that he wanted to be more than friends. She said she needed more time, although she's evidently been developing some feelings for him as well. The day before he spilled his heart out to her, her first love gave her a call and apologized for the way he treated her and stated he wants back what the two of them had. My daughter is torn. Should she give her first love another chance? He has really played her in the past and broke her heart. Or should she move on to my son's friend? The real crisis here is Christian versus non-Christian. My son's friend, who is a non-Christian, said that he would give church a try. He currently does not believe in God. Okay. So this woman doesn't see the crisis is that this guy was a scallywag. I mean, yeah, he was honest. He didn't play her to the point where he lied to her and was seeing other people behind her back or anything like that. But he did break her heart. Now, on the other hand, as a parent, your daughter's 15, because she said a year and a half ago, so that means the little girl was 15. What did you expect them to do? Live happily ever after? I mean, really? Of course they're going to break up. That's why I really don't think that young girls should have boyfriends until they're about 17, 18 years old. That's my own personal belief based on what I have seen for the past couple of decades. It damages girls emotionally when they're not mature enough to handle the feelings that they have and the disappointments that they're going to inevitably, as we all know, face from the man in their life. They have to have a certain level of maturity in order to handle that and put it in a place where it doesn't devastate them and make them have all kinds of depression and problems with relationships in the future. So if you have a daughter, 14, 15, 16 years old, and she wants to have a quote boyfriend, I would strongly suggest that you intervene on that and not let that happen until she's a little older. That's for her best interest. So let me see. There's so much to say here. Well, my advice to this little girl and to this mother is to remind them both that just because somebody claims to be, quote, a Christian, end quote, does not make them treat people any better than someone who's not a Christian. Just look at this, you glowing about this dude being a Christian, and look what he did. So, you don't have to believe in God to be a really good person, to be a loving person, to be a person that treats other people with kindness, with respect, with dignity, who's generous, and who can, express love and commitment. Not only that, we have to look at all the people in the world that practice other religions like Buddhists and Muslims. So are you saying that Christianity is superior, that only Christian view of whoever sees the creator makes you better in some way. I don't think so. I think that type of attitude is some kind of snobbery, and it's totally disrespectful for the cultures of other people throughout the world. Because in the grand scheme of things, no one religion, no building, and no book has an exclusive patent on God. Now, secondly, just because somebody goes to church doesn't mean that he or she is a decent person either. I mean, when I look at the people that I know, I'm talking about in my personal life, that run their asses up to church all the time, they have some problems. They were like drug addicts through a 12-step program. They out of prison, so they was clinging to the Bible to get them through that nonsense. They're abusers. They're gossipy, mean people. They're power mongers. They're 12-steppers in recovery, like I said. And every single person that you find walking up and down the street, it's just a building. Church is just a building. It's built by men, and so they don't have like any kind of qualifications for you to come up in it. So people who think that if you go to church you're going to meet all these wonderful people, no, the wonderful people don't need to go to church. They're good. The people that you're going to find in church are the people who are confused, who are needy. They're lost. They need somebody to tell them what to do and how to do it. So they cling to religion because that is their guiding force to guide them through their life because of either some kind of stress or trauma, because a lot of them were molested as children, and some of them were molested as children right up in the church. So, people have some problems and they're looking for a solution. That's why they go to church. So, I don't know. I mean, to me, churches have a larger concentration of those types of people that are looking for, some kind of release and forgiveness and salvation and answers to why their life is jacked up, and they're looking for answers on how to fix it. People that believe in a higher power and they're living a life of some kind of high moral standards, they're comfortable with themselves. They don't need to be saved from anything, and they don't really have a motivation to go to church. And for this young lady, she's 16. I'm assuming she's probably closer to 17, since she said a year and a half ago. This daughter is almost grown. I mean, she's, in another year or so, she'll be 18 and she'll be an adult. And I would think that she, if her mother and father have been, a strong force in her life and guiding and directing her, then that means that your daughter has a pretty good handle on the principles and the morals and the values of your family, because you've provided those, you've modeled those for her for the past 16 years. Excuse me. And as an adult, she's going to have to incorporate those principles and those morals and those values that you taught her into her behavior, no matter where she is and who she's dealing with, because that's going to be the person that she is as she moves through life. Thirdly, are Christians not directed to get out and teach others that don't know about God and to present them to God, to give them to God? If so, then that means that now is not the time for you to turn up your nose at this young man who doesn't believe. Your job as a strong Christian that you claim to be, and as the mother, is to expose this child to what you think is the beauty and the strength and the promise of God. That's what you believe, right? And that's what you need to tell your daughter. So this other relationship, this little boy that messed over her, is in the past, and that's where it needs to stay. I'm not an advocate of women going back to a man who hurt them. That to me makes no damn sense. He had his chance, he fucked it up. He would rather have, all these other women and get all this other attention and stuff, which at 15 or 16 or however old he was, that is what he should be doing, really. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm really on the fence about the judgments of his behavior. I know it hurt your daughter. It's for that. We have to kind of nix him. But at the age that they were, that should have been expected. You should have been prepping her for that inevitability instead of making her think that she was going to be with this boy for the rest of her life or something. So, but anyway, in other words, he's in the past. That's where it needs to stay. And she could, forgive him. I mean, there's no need to hold grudges and everything. The part that really bugs me the most is how he didn't acknowledge her in school, in public. He just like, I don't know. That's the part that bothers me, not the part that they broke up. The part that he refused to acknowledge her, even as a friend. I don't like that. So I think what she should do is tell him, let's just go back to being friends with no strings, no promises, because you hurt me and I need to get to know who you are now, not who I thought you were. That's what she needs to say to him. And as far as them getting back what they had, it's never gonna. That's impossible. That's never gonna happen because neither one of them are the same anymore. Her innocence about love is gone, and she is forever changed because of that experience. That's what I'm telling you. That's why I just, young girls really shouldn't be dating like that. They should just have, like group dates, hangouts, or whatever. They shouldn't call themselves being having a boyfriend. And this kid, the ex, he needs to prove himself. Because to me, a few words on the phone don't mean squat. I mean, huh? What is that? Okay, that's what you want, but what about what I want? And as far as proving himself, the new guy needs to do the same thing. Now, I am going to say this, though. If you know that you raised your son well, your son loves and respects his parents, your son loves and respects his little sister, there is nothing. He would not bring somebody around his home and his family that was not a solid young man. So you got to, give your son some credit. And, I'm just sure that the kid he can't be a knucklehead if your son is straight up. And he's going to have straight up kind of friends too. So I think that what you should do is give the young dude, the little new dude, a chance to prove himself. I think that you're so concerned about his religious stance that you're not looking at what kind of man he is, what kind of person he is, what is his value system, his moral system. You may find that just because he doesn't believe in God, that doesn't mean he's not a great person. And you're going to deny him and your daughter as well the opportunity to meet each other and on this other level based on whether or not he goes to church. Are you serious right now? And it was really sad because I got a lot of letters in after my book got published, and from husbands and boyfriends about black women who were so focused on church and pastors and stuff that they just ruined their relationships, ruined the situations that they had at home. They were just so focused on running their behinds up to church that they neglected the people that were at home, including their children. They were just more focused on always going to church. And I don't know what it is they thought they was going to find there, what they was looking for, what kind of absolution, strength, direction, whatever. Or maybe did they like somebody that was at church and that was the only place they could see him, I don't know what that was all about. But I got dozens of letters in from men who were, dismayed at the way that their relationship was crumbling because of their woman's staunch hold, the church's staunch hold on their woman. So this is something I really want you to think about. You got to teach your daughter to have an open mind and to judge people by who they are, not what building they travel to. Just because somebody goes to church, I want to reiterate this. Just because somebody goes to church don't mean they about shit. Okay? And it could mean that they are shit, and that's why they going to church, because they're trying to get over being shit. And you would be exposing your daughter to that nonsense. I just don't think that just going to church thing should be any kind of a barrier to these two young people getting together. Instead, spend time talking to this young man and find out what his plans are for his life. Where has he been? What are his parents like? What are his hobbies? What are his interests? What does he think about? What kind of books has he read? What kind of relationships has he had in the past? Those are things that will tell you a lot more about the quality of this young man than whether or not he takes his ass up to church. Lady, come on. I mean, for real, this letter just really disturbed me. I know people have this thing where they be talking about, well, they have to be equally yoked. Your daughter's a teenager. She's not getting married anytime soon. Okay? So let that go. But you want her to be around people that are quality people. And if your son is a quality man, then I'm sure he's going to have quality friends, and he's not going to bring somebody around his sister that's going to fuck over. So whatever you are, whatever is going on in your head, you need to let it go. That's my advice. This is Deb Cooper from survivingdating.com, closing out day 18 or 19, whatever day this is, day 18 of the video a day, February. We'll be back tomorrow with another video. And yes, I know I'm behind. I'm a lot busier this year than I was last year. So man, just trying to do a video every day stuff is killing me. But I'm going to do it. Bye. Now that you've seen some of the grade A content that the Depsterism channel offers, please become a subscriber. Just click the subscribe button down below. Then you'll see a little bell. Click that after, and then you'll be able to get notifications sent directly to your cell phone of when I post new content. You can be one of the very first people to review the new videos, like them, comment them on them, and share them. We'd like you to do all of those things to help the channel grow. I appreciate your support, so become a subscriber. Tell your friends.